here. I don't know if I can follow that contribution from Senator Norris, but I would like, on a serious note, to start by joining with Senator Éireann and sending condolences to the families of the Guards, as she said. And I had the pleasure yesterday of meeting with local Gardaí in the Dublin 8 area in Kevin Street and working with them on street parties in the area and community policing, and just to commend the huge work that's being done by community guards around the country, and to ask the leader that in due course we might have a debate leader on the reforms that are underway within An Garda Síochána on foot of a number of different reports that have been provided, and it would be useful, I think, in this House to review those reports and review the changing practices and speak more about the merits and value of community policing. Could I also join with others in congratulating all of those who ran in the local and European elections for every party, and on behalf of my own party, on behalf of Labour, just to commend in particular our 111 candidates in the local elections and our 3 European election candidates. We saw in Labour a significant increase. We have at least 56 seats, possibly 57, I think, at local government level, and we have 42% of our councillors are going to be women, which is a huge, I think, a matter of enormous pride. I think clearly it's great to see over 200 councillors, women elected as councillors, albeit that the overall proportion of councillors who are women is still not enough. I think it's now about 23%, or projected to be about 23%, following the finalisation of all the counts. Still not enough, but nonetheless an improvement on what went before. And I think we do need to ensure that more is done to encourage and mentor women running for election, to ensure we see more women coming through. Could I say also a particular commendation to the Greens on their performance, and clearly on the doorsteps. I think all of us noted the importance and significance of climate change as an issue, of huge public support for more measures to tackle climate change. I would say, Leader, again, we need to have more debates on this, particularly on radical measures like the banning of single-use plastics, which we're seeing in different institutions and different entities, and at local level as well. In terms of voter turnout, I know Senator Humphreys and I are both just looking at figures on low voter turnout and looking at the turnout being below 50%, which is a real concern. I think it's the first time we've seen turnout below 50%, and I would agree with Senator Conway Walsh. More needs to be done to ensure higher levels of turnout, and in particular to make it easier for people to register. And it was suggested to me on one doorstep over the campaign that we would see that the state, that those who organise this new citizenship ceremonies should have procedures there, including the necessary facilities for people who've just got their Irish citizenship to register immediately to vote. We hand out voter registration forms at graduation for Dublin University, and I think also at NUI graduation ceremonies, thanks to Senator Norris. But that's the exact sort of model that makes it easier for people to register to vote, that doesn't place unnecessary obstacles in the way of people who do wish to register to vote, but in many cases simply haven't got around to it by the necessary deadline. So I think we need to make it easier and to look at ways we can do that. And finally, Ciarán, if I could just mention the Irish Family Planning Association, which will next week be celebrating 50 years in existence, 50 years of campaigning for and providing women with sexual and reproductive health facilities, and in campaigning for sexual and reproductive rights. And as we marked the first anniversary of the successful repeal of the 8th Amendment last weekend, I think it's just fitting that we would be celebrating next week the 50th anniversary of the Irish Family Planning Association. I hope other colleagues will join in coming to the celebrations next Tuesday. Gurmagat.